Breakups can be ugly, confusing, and downright devastating. But when it happens seemingly out of nowhere and you don't even know the reason why your boyfriend left you, it's brutal. How are you supposed to get closure if he won't give you any explanations for his sudden decision to walk out of your life? People don't just leave abruptly for no reason. It only seems that way because they don't explain themselves. If you give it some thought, you might be able to identify the reasons why your boyfriend left. Later, you are going to learn what you can do to try to work things out with him, or at least cope with the breakup and move on. But first, let's find out why he broke up with you in the first place. 8 reasons why your boyfriend left you out of nowhere. Your boyfriend might not give you an explanation, but you are likely to find it among the following common reasons. Before you read them, though, think about your relationship and how he has been acting lately. There were probably some signs that he was thinking about breaking up with you that you might have neglected to notice. Maybe he even said something that could give you an idea about what has been going on inside his head lately. Read the following reasons and see if anything sounds familiar. 1. He doesn't think that your relationship will improve. Maybe your relationship hit more than a few bumps in the road before it ended. Perhaps you were fighting a lot. But even if you weren't, you probably noticed that there was something wrong. Maybe your boyfriend hasn't been happy for a while, and he realized that he can't make your relationship work. Has he mentioned some issues that have been bothering him regarding you and your relationship? Maybe he thought he could tolerate some things that were there from the start, but he later came to the conclusion that they're deal breakers for him. In the end, maybe you are aware that your relationship hasn't been happy for a while now. You wanted to fight for it, but your boyfriend decided to give up and leave. If he thinks that your relationship can't be saved, or that it isn't worth saving, you are probably not going to get him back unless you make a huge change that would quickly improve your relationship. Don't forget that it takes 2 to make a relationship work, so unless he ended things because of something about you that you can easily fix, you're not going to fix your relationship without him. 2. He is scared of commitment. What if your relationship was going great? In fact, it might have been going so great that you talked about taking the next step. When a man leaves abruptly and out of nowhere, it might simply be because he got cold feet. He probably likes you, but he is scared of commitment, and your relationship was working for him when it was more casual. Now that you've mentioned commitment, he started thinking about what that means, and to him, it might seem like he will lose his freedom. Maybe he wants to date other people, or he's just not ready to settle down with anyone yet, but he realized that you're not on the same page. You want more, and he was happy with the way things were. In his mind, things aren't going to be the same again, and they will somehow get worse. In addition, maybe you're not the only girlfriend that he's walked out on when things got serious. Think about his previous relationships, how serious they were, and why they ended. Maybe you'll come to the conclusion that your man runs away when it's time to commit and settle down for good. 3. He doesn't think that your relationship has a future. Speaking of commitment, have you discussed where your relationship is going? Perhaps your boyfriend isn't scared of commitment. He just doesn't think that your particular relationship has a future. Maybe you're just not a great match, and you're both aware of that, but you tried to make it work because you like each other. Now that it has become clear that your relationship can't move forward, he figured that it's better to end it and find someone he could grow old with. Before you get sad, think about his reason for a second. Is there really a future for the two of you? He probably has a good reason to think that you can't grow old together, so put your feelings aside and look at your relationship realistically. Are you simply too different? Do you want different things in life? Do you have different values? Has it always felt like your relationship had an expiration date? Even if you really like each other, you might not be compatible enough to have a serious relationship, and he accepted that before you did. After all, not every relationship can last. Maybe yours ended now so that it would hurt less than if it ended later. 4. He doesn't love you anymore. Unfortunately, one of the possible explanations for your boyfriend's behavior is that he stopped loving you. If this is the case, don't assume that he never loved you to begin with. People can fall in and out of love while in a relationship, and it doesn't change the fact that they did really love you at first. Your boyfriend might have had a change of heart, or there were problems in your relationship that drove him away. All in all, he doesn't feel the same way about you anymore, and he doesn't know how to tell you that, so he didn't tell you anything. Maybe he was slowly pushed away by your behavior, or maybe you did nothing wrong. Either way, he just can't make himself love you. He might be expecting to feel the same emotions he felt during the early stages of dating when everything was new and exciting. Or maybe he knows what real love feels like and simply doesn't feel it for you anymore. 5. He is overwhelmed with other things that are going on in his life. Surprisingly, a man can simply not have the time and energy for a girlfriend. If your boyfriend has a lot of things going on in his life, they might require his full attention. Instead of talking to you about them and seeking your support, he decided to end your relationship so that he could dedicate his time and energy to those things. It may sound like a lousy reason to break up with someone, but really think about the things that are happening in other aspects of your boyfriend's life. Maybe his parent got diagnosed with a serious illness, or his boss is going to fire him if he doesn't take on more projects at work. He might be overwhelmed with everything that's going on, and you're only amplifying the stress. This is especially true if you have been having problems in your relationship, even if those problems seem minor to you. If he has a lot of other problems in his life, even a minor problem with you could be too much. Maybe he can't solve the other issues in his life, so he thought that breaking up with you will solve at least one of them and give him more time to focus on finding solutions for the other ones. 6. He is interested in someone else. Sometimes, the answer is simple, even if we don't want to hear it. Your boyfriend might not want to tell you why he's breaking up with you because the reason is another woman. Maybe he cheated on you, but he could have just become interested in someone else. So, he has to break up with you to be able to see where it goes with the other person. This hurts a lot, but it happens quite frequently and gives your boyfriend a pretty good reason not to tell you anything. Nothing that you did has caused him to leave. He just wants to be with someone else. Someone might have caught his eye, but maybe he doesn't even have a particular woman in mind. He just thinks that it's time for him to be with someone new. Perhaps he flirted with someone and wanted to take it further, but he couldn't do that while he's with you. So, instead of cheating on you, he ended the relationship so that he would be free to date other people. If this is the case, you will soon find out about it because he'll probably be in a new relationship in no time and likely already knows who his new girlfriend is going to be. 7. He is ready to move on. People can reach a point in a relationship where they're ready to move on, even though they're still in that relationship. They don't have to be interested in someone else or be bothered by something you do. Similarly to when your partner stops loving you, he can be ready to move on even if he still has feelings for you. Maybe he still likes you, or maybe he stopped loving you. The point is that he doesn't want to stay in the relationship, whether it has a future or not. He might have simply realized that it's not what he wants anymore because the relationship has run its course. Sometimes, there simply comes a time to leave a relationship even though there's no specific reason for doing so. It was nice while it lasted, but it doesn't have a point anymore. An ending of a relationship can come naturally, and both partners can be aware of that, even if one of them wishes that it wasn't true. So, think about whether it's really time to move on, for both of you. 8. He never really cared for you as much as you thought. In the end, maybe your boyfriend never loved you to begin with. Maybe he just used you, and once he got what he wanted, he left. It's sad, but it happens all the time. On the other hand, maybe he didn't have the intention of using you. Perhaps he thought that he could grow to love you or didn't even think about it at all. Maybe he went with the flow to see where it took the relationship. Not everyone will get into a relationship with you with the intention to love you, even if they don't intend to use you. Your boyfriend might be in a casual mood regarding your relationship, and he got into it just for fun. When it stopped being fun or causal, he figured he should leave. Maybe you thought that he loved you, but he was just nice to you while it suited him. It's not what you want to hear, but it gives him a very good reason not to tell you the truth, doesn't it?